All right, we're live. You can say hi to the camera if you want.
Hi.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Alex Vidal. I warned her about my energy. My name is Alex Vidal. I am president of Related ISG International Realty and host of the show you are watching today, Inquiring Minds Want to Know. And to my right, we are joined today by Heather Monahan, best-selling author of Confidence Creator. She's also a motivational speaker and amazing energy in the 10 minutes that I've met her so far. Today's interview, as always, brought to you by Related ISG International Realty. If you want to work with a broker who is connected to some of the best business, real estate, motivation, confidence, mindset minds, not only in Miami, but in the country, call me, text me, DM me. And today we're doing something special I didn't forget. Ask your questions down below as we go through, as you're watching this video, whether you're watching it live or later. Heather is going to be answering any questions that you may have. In about a day or two, we're going to pick a winner. And we're going to send you an autographed copy by Heather. Heather, you ready?
All right, I'm ready to go.
Let's do it. High five. All right. 10, 15 minutes. Here we go. We have 8 questions for her. Heather, from your beginnings in Massachusetts to Miami today with several stops in between, tell us a little bit about the path to owning your own company, Boss and Heels, which I love the name.
Thank you.
And becoming the author of your book, Confidence Creator.
It's been a wild ride, to say the least. I've been all over the country. I was in corporate America for over 20 years and really followed that linear path of advancement from sales rep to sales leader to executive vice president and chief revenue officer. And I thought I had that whole corporate thing mapped out. Mm-hmm. And I did. I was named one of the most influential women in radio in 2017. I had done a really amazing job, been promoted 3 times at the same company in 14 years, and had made it to the C-suite. And when the CEO I reported to became ill, he decided to promote his daughter. So it was only a few minutes before I got the phone call that my job was no longer needed anymore, and neither was I. So that was really the catalyst to say, okay, am I going to go back to what I've always done and just go to another company, within that media world and industry? Or was I going to take the biggest risk of my life and say, I'm going to start something new. I'm going to go out and be a rookie at 40. I was 43 at the time. I'm 44 now. And start all over as a beginner. And I did.
Hold on. So this explosion that you've had in your business has only been over, that's the one thing I didn't check how long you've been the owner of your own company. That's been only a year.
It's a little over a year now. July 27th, 2017 is the day I got fired. And it was really that next month where I figured out, okay, I'm going to start my own company. I'm going to write a book, and really started putting things in motion.
How awesome is that? In a year, how quickly can
your life can change completely overnight. My whole life, I was a corporate America sales leader. If you Google me right now, I show up as an author. And that blows my mind away all the time.
In a year?
In a year.
That's how powerful time and year goes by really quick too.
It does.
Here we are about, celebrating the end of the year. Now, you have a quote that says, the way we choose to approach life is influenced heavily by the lens through which we view the world.
Sure.
So tell us about the systems that you have in place to stay in that positive and motivated state of mind, especially through all the changes that you went through.
Oh yeah, no, let's not sugarcoat it. It's not changes. It's definitely hard times and adversity. I, like everyone else, we're all going to face adversity and challenges in life. That's just part of the program, right? Mm-hmm. So there are certain things you can do for yourself to elevate yourself and pick yourself up when you're not feeling your best, which I have a lot of experience with. And one of the things I learned was from my son. And my son taught me that and he was using basketball as the analogy because he's 11 years old and loves to play basketball. Okay. He said, Mom, he brought me a Sharpie one day, and he said, will you write something on my shoes? And I thought, oh, what is he up to now? And he had me write, you can do all things, on his game shoes. And when I asked him, I said, why did you have me do that? He said, Mom, not everyone can feel like LeBron James the entire game. I might get down on myself at some point, and that's when I'll look down and I'll remember I can do all things.
How cool is that?
So he taught himself how to pick himself back up by leaving himself a reminder, and I ripped and ran with that. And I put notes in my phone and all around my house, and I really strategically place positive messaging throughout my life so that I can influence myself when I might need it.
How awesome. So you have one son who's 11.
I do.
I have 4 boys.
Oh my gosh.
So I have a 21-year-old.
Wow.
So that's why I had him at 19 when I got into real estate. And my wife and I now have an 11-year-old, and we have 8-year-old twins.
Holy hands.
Non-stop. So let's talk confidence, since the name of your book is Confidence Creator. You recently said that confidence is not, they will like me, But confidence is, I'll be fine if they don't.
Yeah.
So what's your advice to our audience on how to build confidence?
Oh my gosh, I have so many different ways for you. Number one, fire the villains in your life. Everybody has a villain out there, and some of you might have a lot. Depending on when I look back on my life, there were different times. I had a lot of villains in my life. And getting rid of those negative people that are trying so hard to pull you down and hold you back will allow you to take off and allow positive people to start showing up, positive opportunities that you were blocking when you were letting someone really hold you back. So firing the villains is critical to really establish confidence and elevate yourself. It's so important. Stop apologizing. For a long time, and I use the example of working out at Barry's boot camp. When you go to grab the weights, it's like mayhem and everyone's bumping into each other. And I was, I'm sorry. And I finally stopped and said, why do I feel like crap when I go to get the weights? I feel like I'm to blame when I'm bumping into people. That doesn't make any sense. So I flipped that and started at first with, excuse me, which when you do that at first, you're saying, well, that wasn't that hard, but I feel much better about myself. Then I would notice I'd go to the Apple store and the line was so long, of course. And the young lady that was waiting, when you finally get up there and it's your turn, she says, I'm so sorry that you had to wait. And I said to her, well, how about saying this instead? Thank you so much for your patience. I'm so glad you're here. Because then you make the other person feel good about, the fact that they're bringing a good attitude. You're assuming they're bringing a good attitude, which is helpful. And you're not putting yourself beneath everybody. So no more apologizing. That's a really powerful one. And I challenge everyone for 7 days, do not apologize no matter what. And you will really start feeling very good about yourself.
Okay, I've never heard that one before.
Could you do that?
I don't know. I'm going to say yes, because if I say I don't know, then I'm not going to give it a try. Yes, I can do it. Now I'm going to hold myself accountable of making it happen.
I love that. So that's also another key tactic is positive affirmations and really owning what you're going to do instead of second guessing yourself. So, making statements about yourself. I am going to be great on air. I am confident. When you start owning and saying these things to yourself all the time, it works. Frequency works. Frequency in messaging is why media is so powerful. And you can curate and control this platform right here, the most powerful one you have in your life, and those are your thoughts. And you can create them any way that you want. So write it down, what it is that you want to be, that you want to own, that you won't apologize any longer. Start reading that over and over again every day and watch how that tape just starts playing on its own.
In the first one you said about getting rid of the villains in your life.
Yeah.
So we have a coaching program in our company, and before we teach anything about going after, in sales, first thing we talk about is mindset, and we start with the gratitude exercises. And one of the gratitude exercises is writing down 3 things for which you're grateful for every day. Not once a week, every day.
I do it.
And we've done 7 of them so far. We've had close to 250 agents take our coaching program. And you can tell 2 things. Within 3 weeks, you can definitely tell which are the ones that have done the gratitude exercises and which ones haven't. And almost every single one that tells you that they've done it and you see it will come to you and say, I never realized, you keep telling us misery loves company. We never realized it until we started this gratitude exercise, and we realized how many negative people we have in our life trying to weigh us down. So I agree, get rid of the villains in your life.
You can't establish boundaries, because sometimes that villain might be your parent, your brother, whoever, someone that you don't necessarily want to completely cut out of your life, but that you need to start protecting yourself from. And sometimes that's just a conversation to say, you know what, this doesn't work for me any longer when you put me down like that. We're going to need to change this conversation. And just having direct communication with people, putting yourself first, really ramps up your confidence.
Realtors, listen to that, because as realtors, we all need more confidence in our business. Number 4, passion. My favorite adjective. I think you have a lot of passion. I can tell, I'm sure the viewers see it as well. Tell us about the 7 reasons, and if you remember all 7, cool. If not, give us any reason as to why people should pursue their passions right now.
Okay, we only get one shot at this life. And one thing that I've learned, I used to keep my head down and I would chase the money, and this is what I need to do to make money. I never thought about, what am I passionate about? Big picture, what do I want to leave as my legacy in life? That sounded like something really wealthy people could do. But I grew up very poor, and I was someone who, I grinded it out every day of my life, and I chased the paycheck. So I never thought like that. Now, having gone through this transition in my life, which I didn't plan for, but has turned out to be so purpose-driven now, I get the most amazing notes and letters and DMs from people saying how my book has changed their life, and I find myself crying all the time, good tears, not I just got fired tears. Those are different kinds of tears, right? And I'm realizing I lived so many years in a non-passionate, non-purposeful way. Life was happening to me, and now I'm deciding where it goes, and it means so much more, and people notice it around you. It shifts your energy. So if you realize that you've got this one finite window and one time to live, take the moment to pick your head up, define and identify what is your passion, what really matters to you. And you're going to invigorate yourself so much so your energy will really pick up. You'll just feel more alive and excited to jump out of bed every day. If you're not excited to jump out of bed, you are not living your passionate, purpose-driven life. That's so clear. And believe me, I've been in both. Go for the passion one.
And when you have and you're doing your passion, you can take the gut checks that people give you every day and be able to fight through. That's the alligator skin on my pin that we talk about, to be able to take the shots and keep moving. Because when you don't have your passion, you get knocked down and you don't really get back up.
So that's so interesting that you bring up the haters, because the haters, when you start doing something unique and different, which is really when you move into your passion, right? Because now you're starting to really establish who the true real you is. So that's going to be unique and different than everyone else that's out there, right? So you're moving away from that vanilla corporate linear world, and you're moving into creating something and being different and unique. Well, those are the times the haters start showing up the most. And what I've learned in the past year is those are the moments to celebrate. If haters aren't coming for me, that means I'm not shining my light, I'm not being unique. And you know what? I want to be me, because I know I'm my most strong and powerful and authentic when I am me. So, let those haters come. It's like, yes, I'm doing something so different.
Yeah, it's like, I have a few stories with the show. When I started it was like, well, what are you, a real estate broker or a show host? I'm like, I'm both, and I'm using the show to help my brokerage. A lot of haters out there. Look at using the show as an
we had some on the comments before.
I know!
Did you see that? And I'm loving it. Some guy said, oh, I have an MBA. I went to business school. What would she ever be able to teach me? And it was interesting to read through that thread and see. And it was also interesting to me, one thing I know is we're all students for life, right? And there's nothing more clear to me than having made the C-suite in corporate America and starting over as a rookie entrepreneur. I'm constantly learning. And for those times in my life where I didn't think I was, that's really sad, because you're either moving forward and growing or you're moving backwards. So open your mind up to we can learn from anyone out there, guys.
Yeah, it was a comment about a college degree. And by the way, I don't have a college degree because I had my son at 19. I was working full-time, had a family full-time, had a son. And I don't have a college degree, but here we are.
Well, according to Gary Vee, no one needs a college degree anymore anyways, but,
there's quite a few people out there without degrees that are doing
pretty well.
Pretty well. Number 5. Now, you talked about your background in sales, and you absolutely have had major successes in sales. What are some keys to becoming a great salesperson?
Okay, first of all, I don't care what your job is, you're in sales. I'm now an author and a speaker, and I'm in sales. And I've realized there are so many great books out there in the world, but there aren't a lot of authors that are great salespeople. Mm-hmm. So their books don't ever reach the amount of people that they could potentially affect and have a larger, impact. So being a salesperson is something you have to realize. Whatever you do, that's so key to your entire life. So in sales, number one, there's so many different things, but you want to put yourself in the shoes of the other person. And when you can really try to empathize with where they're coming from, understand their pain points and their problems, you're going to be able to help them connect with whatever it is you're selling. So an example would be, I self-publish. So Barnes & Noble doesn't carry my book. But I want Barnes & Noble to carry my book, right? And they don't want to carry self-published authors. So it was about finding out, how could I bring them value so that they could see value in my product and my service? And what I realized was different stores wanted attention, they wanted press. And I was able to connect with a news program that was willing to come film me launching my book at Barnes & Noble, giving them the press that they wanted, getting my book into Barnes & Noble, and then it's a win-win for everyone. So really identify, where is that person coming from and what is important to them, because the more you understand that, the more you're going to be able to connect those dots and get whatever your goal is achieved.
There you go. Number 6, we have a lot of women viewers. I've had actually some very powerful women on the show like you. So what advice would you give our women viewers, or any of the viewers, but let's focus on the women here, on becoming a woman power player?
So a woman power player to me means you're a confident person that's pursuing your dreams, because that says power. There's a lot of power moves that you can take on. One is really your stance. And I call it, claiming your Wonder Woman pose or your superpower pose, but standing strong and making it deliberate, not by chance, really commands attention and allows you to feel very strong. Anytime that I'm going into a new situation where I might be nervous or I don't know how I'm going to do, I have a theme song that I play, Kendrick Lamar, I Love Myself.
Okay.
And when you play theme songs often enough, they start to spark and trigger memories. And I do it around events I'm nervous for. So every time I try something new, I'm building confidence by putting myself out there. And through a lot of these events and new initiatives I've taken on, I've done very well. So I hear the song, I remember the memory of me succeeding at something else that I felt nervous for, and I begin to feel, well, this is proof that I'm gonna go into this situation and succeed. So for me, connecting the music with the memory, with the intention of where I'm going really allows me to be powerful. Owning a power color, figure out what your color is. For me, it's red, navy, blue. When I put those colors on, I step into a stronger me and channel whoever you need to in any moment, because sometimes we get knocked and we say, oh gosh, I'm off kilter here. I was on a news program and someone asked me about international questions in business that I had no idea. So I decided to channel Donald Trump and answer a question I did know the answer to. And you can move through seamlessly very difficult situations when you are readily available to think, who do I know that can handle this situation really well? And I'm gonna push that through me right now and handle it just like they would. And it can get you out of those moments that could be really frustrating and not so great.
There you go. 2 questions left. We're about to ring in the new year. What can our viewers do to make sure they have a kick-ass 2019? And I think that may be the actual first time I've ever cursed in an interview. I want to have a kick-ass 2019. And I'm sure all our viewers do too. So what can they do?
Look back on 2018 and see what you're proud of and write those things down. Write what you accomplished that you feel really good about. And also think about what was it in this year you would do differently. And then look back on your life 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and get reflective on, if I had known what I know now back then, what would I have done? For me, I would have left that corporate America situation 10 years ago, and I'd be 10 years further now in the entrepreneurial world. So really get reflective on that, because I guarantee whatever that same insight is that you could have appreciated back then is the same insight you probably need right now, which for me is always move faster, set higher goals, dream bigger, and stop playing small.
It's interesting. Everybody talks about reflect on the year, but nobody ever talks about reflecting 5 years ago, 10 years ago. You were saying it, and I'm already thinking, okay, 10 years ago I was 30. What was I doing? Where was I? All that stuff. I love that one. Okay, last question. Now, obviously, your book is back here. Here it is, Confidence Creator. Again, ask your questions in the comments because she's going to be answering them, and then you will potentially win an autographed copy. But obviously, you're going to promote your book, Confidence Creator. But aside from Confidence Creator, what are maybe some other books or TED Talks or podcast recommendations that you have?
So there are so many great podcasts. I love podcasts. I listen a lot. I just did the Lori Harder podcast. I did an interview with her a couple weeks ago. That's a great podcast about earning your happy and really being in charge of your happiness. I love the Lady Gang podcast. If you're looking for something light and fun, they're so fun and funny, and I think they're amazing. And Mel Robbins has a really fantastic TED Talk that I would encourage everyone to check out.
There you go. Heather, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it. That was absolutely awesome. I think you probably have more energy than anybody I've interviewed. This is actually the 30th episode of Inquiring Minds Want to Know. Now, Heather, before we go, we walked in and I think we were both stunned at how beautiful this unit was.
Yeah.
So we are filming from Apogee Beach in South Beach. What unit are we in, Katie?
1201.
We are in 1201. It is listed for just under $12 million. Give me 30 seconds because not many of us ever have an opportunity to view these kind of units. My very good friend Dora Puig, who is also a woman power player, was on the show Inquiring Minds Want to Know, number 6 broker in the country. Was so nice enough to let us into her listing. So give me 30 seconds. I just want to tour you guys around so you can start, so you can see the unit. We're going to start with the view that's right behind the camera. Heather, any parting words for the group? I didn't even prep you for this, but any parting words?
No problem. I hope that you grab Confidence Creator for every hardcover that's sold in the month of December. I donate one to Dress for Success Miami for a woman that's struggling that deserves a chance at getting her confidence built up. So please give the gift that keeps on giving, the gift of confidence.
There you go. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Heather. And let me show you guys around. I'm going to pick it up off the tripod. Here we go. So just to kind of share with you what it looks like. See, this is the view from Apogee, the view from the living room. A few minutes ago, behind the camera while we were filming, there was actually a cruise ship going by. But this is the living room here. You're going to kind of see our setup and people moving around. So the living room looks directly out into the Port of Miami. And then here's the other view, the direct east-facing view. More water. And then we're going to work our way. There I am in the camera. Say hello. Hey, guys. Nice to see you. We're going to come over here. I won't show you the whole unit, but I want you guys to just kind of check this out. This is an amazing kitchen with a stainless steel countertop. Look at this. And then we'll go into the master, and then I'll let you guys go. Let's go this way. And this is the master bedroom and the view from the master. Check this out. Imagine waking up to this view every day. Absolutely stunning. Now, Heather, I have a question here from Vanessa Maggi. She's asking, what are the podcasts that you mentioned again?
Lori Harder, Earn Your Happy, and The Lady Gang. If you go into your podcast icon and just type that in, it will pop right up.
There you go. Thank you guys so much for watching. Happy New Year. Actually, no, I have one more interview next week. We'll see you next week.